Hey everybody, welcome to another Design30 tutorial. In this one, I'm going to be going through another quick example of how to render a part to really bring it to life. And in this case, we're going to be looking at a toggle switch, which you can see here. As always, if you're enjoying these tutorials, make sure to subscribe. Okay, let's dive into this render. So first, we're starting off with this part here. Pretty standard, average looking toggle switch. So let's dive into the render workspace and start throwing some appearances on here. So to start, let's go with this metal toggle at the front. So this looks like something that we would like to do, obviously out of a metal. So we got to find all of our metals. Here we go. And then I think a stainless steel would look really good on this. Let's look at a polished stainless steel, put that on there. Let's also apply that to this nut right there. Okay, and now we have this little front panel here, which looks like the body's kind of this whole piece. So I'm thinking maybe, let's see, what are the different coatings that we can look at here? So we have black oxide as well as titanium nitride coating. Let's do black oxide. Throw that on there. Okay. And again, if you want to see what the render is going to look like, you can hit this button. You start to get that photorealistic look. You still can see we've got a little ways to go on this. But again, that slows down your computer. So let's turn that off so we can still make sure to add all these appearances without slowing things down. Okay, now let's go to this back piece. I think this is going to be more of a plastic. So let's see what we have to work with in our plastic folder. I think a nylon 12 here will look really good. Okay, that's a good start there. Now we've got a couple screws on the back side here. Let's go back to our stainless steels. Instead of a polish, let's go with the stainless satin on that screw and this screw. Okay, quickly add those. We've also got some leads here that we need to apply an appearance to. Let's stick with the stainless steel satin for that one, as well as this one right here. Okay. And again, this part was imported from McMaster-Carr, or downloaded from McMaster-Carr and then opened, and it automatically comes in with all these different bodies, which makes it really easy to just apply the appearance to the bodies. If, for example, you need to just apply it to a specific face, there's a way to do that as well. If you scroll to the top here, right now I'm applying it to bodies and components, but you can also easily apply that to just a face. So let's keep going here. We've got these rubber covers. So let's find where our rubber is located. I believe that's under miscellaneous. Scroll down, there's rubber, and just a soft black rubber should look pretty good there. Okay. Pull that over onto those. Let's see. Let's also go back to the metal. Let's add a little bit of brass, get a little bit of color kind of to pop out here. Once we get to the renders, let's do a polished brass on that. And a polished brass right here. Okay, you can see this is all starting to come together. In the description of the McMaster part, they said there's a red wire and a white wire. So let's add some color to that insulation. Scroll down to, where's our plastics at here again? There's rubber. Sometimes it's good to make sure you're closing these things. Makes it a little bit easier to work with. Here's our plastic. Okay, red glossy. Let's go with a matte red. Throw that there. And then we've got a matte white here as well. We'll throw that on. Okay, and now you can actually see the wire a little bit in the center. So, you know, why not? Let's add some realistic colors to that, a realistic appearance. That is probably going to be copper. So let's do a nice polished copper on those two bodies. Okay, there and there. Now we're just about there. There's not a whole lot else to add, but there is this little O-ring here. This is a toggle switch that is meant to be used in areas where there might be some humidity or some water, different things that you would need to seal it off from. So we really want to make that O-ring pop so that it easily sticks out in the renders that we're going to do. So let's go back to our plastics. This might not be the most realistic material by any means, but this will make it pop. So let's do a glossy green. Make sure you get that O-ring. There we go. Okay, so I think that is it for applying the different appearances. As you can see, even before we go to the rendered version, it's starting to look like a real part right now. It's something you might expect to see when you actually got this part delivered to you and you open it up. So let's start the in-canvas render. There we go. This will give us a little bit of an idea of how the lighting is going to look once we begin to render this. And let's get kind of this back view. Zoom in a little bit here. Okay, that's not a bad view right there. Let's go up to render. And let's mess with our render settings a little bit. Again, you can render on the cloud if you want to pay for it, or you can just render locally on your machine. I like to do a transparent background. So that way, when you download this, it's really easy to overlay it over whatever backgrounds you want. If you want to put in a portfolio or in a PowerPoint, something like that. Let's improve the render quality. This is pretty simple. So let's just go all the way up to 99. Okay, let's go kind of a high quality mobile render here. And I think that looks good. So let's kick off that first render. As you can see, this will take a little while, but it pops up down here. And while that's going, let's turn off this in-canvas render at this point. Let's kind of get a front-facing look at this. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, and then let's kick off another render from that angle. And again, you can see it just populates right down here. You can see that it's working on both of those. And as I've mentioned in other videos, this often says there's only a few seconds remaining. Unfortunately, that's usually wrong. Ooh, in this case, it looks like it finished up pretty quickly. So let's see if we can get that to open up. There we go. Our render gallery. And so there we go. We have a photorealistic image in literally just a matter of minutes. You can download that. Okay. Let's see. Let's just download it to the downloads folder. Let me open that up real quick, and you can see how good of a quality we actually got out of this render. So doing this off screen right now, opening up that image, and now I'll pull it over here. Let me get this resized. Oh, okay. Wow, this has caused me all sorts of problems. 1 second. Let me reduce the size of that window off screen for a second. I have the resolution on one of my monitors increased significantly so that you can actually see what's going on in Fusion 360, but it makes pulling images from one monitor to the other a little bit tricky. So here we are. This is actually a really cool looking render. We've got some photorealistic views of the wires coming off it. You can see the rubber covers here. The insulation is colored properly, and that O-ring is really popping. So if that's a main feature of this design, you can make sure to call that out. And overall, it's a really cool looking render. Let's see if our other one has finished up here. Looks like it has. And now we've got a render from the front side. So that is a really quick and easy way to do a render in Fusion 360. You can really bring your products to life. You can have photorealistic renders in a matter of seconds. In this case, maybe a matter of a few minutes as you're applying all of these different appearances. but this is a great way to level up your work, great way to level up your portfolios or your marketing, advertising, whatever the case might be. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. As always, remember, design more, despair less. Thanks for watching.